In the last 90 days, content creation completely changed my life. You push yourself to at least get your foot out the door and just do it. The thing is, none of this would have happened if I didn't start again. And launching my products into the world, I've spent the last 90 days creating content and sharing it with our community of lifestylers here on YouTube. I never thought I'd be one of those people who say this, but in the last 90 days, content creation completely changed my life. Not because I went viral, not because I suddenly made thousands, but because for the first time, I was sharing what I truly value. I was in my flow, so I finally found my thing. This is the story of how I found my message, built my brand, and finally shared what I have been creating with the world. All while pregnant, parenting, and working a 9 to 5. Hi, I'm Ivy K, a nerd dressed like a mom, and this is Living LyfStyled. Here we build lifestyle and financial freedom without burnout, hustle, or waiting for someday. I introduced LyfStyled on YouTube channel when I started the 90-day Freedom Build Challenge. If you want to find out the results of that 90-day Freedom Build Challenge, I've provided an update on this video linked over here and also linked in the description down below. Feel free to watch that video once you are done watching this one. So I essentially came back to creating content on YouTube because of the 90-day Freedom Build Challenge. But now I've actually come to realize that what I subconsciously wanted but had not yet admitted to myself was that I wanted to create content. So I wanted to push myself back into content creation on YouTube through the 90-day Freedom Challenge. And the challenge provided just a push or a launching pad to get me started. Because things might have started with the challenge, but that doesn't cover what happened in the last 90 days. It became so much more than that. So this isn't my first time on YouTube. I've had a few channels, some were private, some were public, and each time I started, I had the same enthusiasm. But somewhere along the journey, something would change and I would stop. Let me give you a few examples. I had a channel called the African Hair Channel. On that channel, I talked about growing my natural hair, and after a while, I stopped creating for that channel, not because I no longer enjoyed creating, but because the topic no longer kept me interested. When I was creating content about hair, that meant finding something to talk about hair each week. I found out that I genuinely don't care that much about my own hair, so that topic and searching for those things to talk about were genuinely not giving me energy. I wasn't finding my flow with it because it was just not in alignment with my core values. You might be going through a similar journey of self-discovery, even if it's not in public as mine is right now. My tip for you is to experiment. Try out things. If you stop because it doesn't suit who you are, and at least you know what you don't like. Because the worst mistake is coming to a point in life and discovering that you still don't know who you are because you were too scared to try things out. The African Hair Channel was my first time playing around an editing software and learning content creating skills that were outside of my professional field of finance. So I walked away with the experience that I gained and the skills that I gained from that experiment that I was going through. And I learned later that I can always reuse the skills that I learned during that phase of my life, even now. Another example is the channel that I created just after meeting my husband. We had just moved into this house and I started another channel that was focused on gardening, and I called it The One Dutch Garden. Listen, I love gardening, but filming while I'm gardening just didn't work out. Setting up and recording while I was gardening just took too much time, while all I wanted to do was to do the actual garden work. When I fell pregnant with our first child, even the garden work became too much of a challenge. So I stopped the channel. But that time around, I wasn't willing to just stop and let go of content creation. So I started this channel while still pregnant with our first child. And back then, I called it Ivy Money, where I exclusively focused on personal finance related topics. And this was the second half of 2023. The videos from back then are still available on this channel. You can check them out later when you have a moment. Naturally, when the baby arrived, I took a break to focus on the tiny human that we just created. Falling down, London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. There's something so magical about becoming a parent. Maybe it's because of the break that you get, or just because something big is happening in your life. But during that break, at least for me, I started reflecting on my own life, my values, and my priorities. I even created a video about that. You can check it out over here. I'll link it over here and down in the description below. And looking back at that time, that was the first time I put into words the person I am and who I'm becoming. So this time, when I pushed myself with the 90-day challenge to come back to content creating on YouTube, it became so much easier to find my flow and articulate my passions and be consistent in sharing what I believe, because it came so naturally. Coming up with ideas for the videos was like taking a drink from an ever-flowing fountain of ideas. If you are finding it difficult to stay consistent or start on your content creating journey, figuring out what you truly are might help. From my experience, creating from this standpoint is more powerful than all the other takes I've had in the past. And if you find it dreadful to even start, do what I did. Just make it into a challenge. That way, you push yourself to at least get your foot out the door and just do it. My journey of self-discovery confirmed what I had always known subconsciously, which is that I'm a creative. There's no doubt about that. I'm also a finance nerd who loves creating and sharing finance solutions with others. I have a very self-reflective personality where I always try to learn from the wins and mistakes of others. So, coming up with a brand that is focused on lifestyle design and financial freedom came naturally. Once I had the focus or the niche figured out for the content that I wanted to share, rebranding this channel to suit that purpose was easy because it aligned with who I am. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever quit something that just didn't feel right for you at that moment in your life, even if others thought it was a great idea? What did that version of you need at that time instead? Because what I've learned from letting go of things is that you are just not ready, or it just doesn't fit quite right. And maybe you should try again, and when you're ready, it will fit. So why is this channel so different? What's different about LyfStyled? Well, LyfStyle embodies the core philosophy that I believe in, lifestyle-driven wealth. Just like my personal journey that I have shared with you, I sincerely believe that designing the lifestyle that you want should always be leading and be the driving force behind the wealth and the net worth, the money that you aspire for. Because if you have no idea what your ideal lifestyle should look like, you will end up being a multi-billionaire who actually is very unfulfilled and generally not happy. For sure, money can buy you the comforts, but it can never buy you the purpose, peace, and general sense of being fulfilled. Money can't buy you that sense of being content and being happy with your life. Choosing a path where you accumulate a whole lot of money and wealth without really knowing what you want in your life, the type of lifestyle that you actually want, choosing that path will always leave you restless and looking for more. You will not be able to put in place systems and routines that support your life priorities, and that will leave you to always feel some sense of unexplainable chaos that you just can't pinpoint no matter the bank balance that you have. So for me, lifestyle driven wealth is actually the answer to what a lot of us truly want in our lives. We want lifestyle and financial freedom. Designing our lives to incorporate these elements and creating and finding solutions that make it easier for us to build these elements is my purpose and why I created LyfStyled. I'm certainly still on a journey of self-discovery, but having LyfStyled as a platform where I can share that journey with you and share my deeply self-reflective lessons that I learn and share the solutions that I build with you, all of that makes me really giddy and excited about the future. So reflecting back on the last 90 days, looking at what went right, what went wrong, let's do that. What went wrong? Well, one of the days during these 90 days, I tried to go live on YouTube for the first time. I watched a few videos to check out how to actually get it done. A lot of the advice that was given was on how to set it up and get the most out of the live session. But when it came time for me to finally hit record, I was too excited, so I went live and created it to be more like a question and answer session with me seated in the garden. I admit that perhaps that wasn't the best take of my creative session. I was not able to concentrate while I was sitting outside. I thought I had gathered my thoughts on what I actually wanted to talk about, but I ended up rambling. Even my recording equipment just didn't pan out. So the lesson I took from that experience is that I needed a bit more time to figure out how I actually wanted to set up the live sessions and how I wanted to expand my creativity into that area. Because there's still a lot that I would like to explore. I would like to create blogs. I would like to share more shorts on this channel. And I certainly would still like to go live because I believe that that's a better way to engage with you when I can see your comments immediately and feel closer to our community. So these 90 days have shown me that I still have a lot to figure out in terms of content creation. And the live session that didn't go well was just another learning curve because now I know exactly how not to do it. What went right? I already talked about LyfStyled as a brand. So now I will focus on the progress I made on the YouTube channel itself. The goals I set for myself in the 90-day channel had nothing to do with YouTube really. But I must admit that I was hoping that the channel would have been monetized by now. There's so many videos of people having monetized their channels within 90 days or less. Why couldn't that be me? But it didn't work out that way at all. I came back to the channel on the 1st of April. When I came back, I had 139 subscribers and 203 watch time hours already in the channel. So I had hoped that I would grow the subscriber count to about 1,000 and have my 4,000 watch time hours. Well, that was an epic fail. But even with that fail, I'm actually proud of what I've achieved. As I sit here recording this video, I have exactly 430 subscribers and my YouTube watch time hours is nothing to brag about. I only have 491 watch time hours over the last 90 days. Thank you to each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel, and I hope that my efforts and everything that I've put in here is shown to you and that you've learned something from my journey. And also, thank you for the time that you've spent watching me talk to you on this channel. I appreciate you as a subscriber to this channel because you are a valued member of the LyfStyled community. We are a community of lifestylers, and going forward, I only see this community getting bigger and stronger. At some point along this journey, I took a real look at what actually helps people to grow. A lot of the strategies that get other YouTubers monetized really fast involve producing really long form content, such as going live for about an hour, or being on a podcast for about an hour or so, or recording videos that are more than 25, 30 minutes and posting multiple times during the week. During the last 90 days of my content creation journey, I really wasn't ready for any of that. I was still on a path of brand development, getting my message stronger and clearer, working a 9 to 5 still, while parenting a toddler and having very little energy for myself and my passions because of the pregnancy. These are not excuses for not having achieved monetization. On the contrary, these serve as a true unfiltered reflection of the realities when you have a busy life and you are self-aware enough to know what you're ready for. I'm hoping that by sharing this with you, I do encourage you to start on your own journey with realistic expectations or with clear intentions to create longer form content, nothing under 15 minutes, because then it'll take less people to watch your content in order to reach the watch time hours that you need. When I started the 90-day challenge, for some reason, I didn't feel ready to show my face again. So I recorded voiceovers to go along with the footage from my week. At that point, it made it easier for me to start again. I had a format that I was comfortable with. And the lesson here is to just start, even when you're not ready. Find a way to make it easier for yourself. Over time, you'll find a rhythm in creating videos, and you will have the time to explore new formats for those videos, but at least you would have started. Another lesson is that you should pivot when you need to. For example, I stopped posting the weekly updates to the challenge. I realized that they were more about me and not really adding value to my audience. So instead, I launched the Living Lifestyle segment, and that changed everything. It felt like I had finally found my voice and my rhythm and my fountain of ideas. Another lesson is that time pressure can actually bring clarity to you. Knowing that I have maternity leave coming up gave me focus. I wasn't chasing perfection. I just wanted to be present and honest and deliver value to the audience. This journey helped me to learn marketing skills, for example. I've never taken a marketing class. I learned to speak to what people need. I learned to edit, to write hooks, polish my message, and most importantly, I learned to keep showing up, even when no one was watching. And launching my products into the world changed how I see my work. I finally put my digital products out there. These are the tools that I use, the dashboards, the calculators, and now they are available to others. That was huge. I second guessed myself regarding the pricing, the platforms, the visuals, but I did it anyway. And that changed how I see myself, because I now see myself as a creator of solutions, building roadmaps, and I'm able to bring my audience along the journey and share the product with them. We've also built a community of lifestylers here on YouTube. People from all over the world leaving comments and engaging with me. On a day when my pregnancy hormones are just doing their thing and all I can do is just lay down to rest, I read the comments over again. Some comments give me ideas of what to do, what to tackle next, and others feel like I'm talking to a friend that I've had for a very long time. If you've left a comment in the last 90 days, thank you so much. You brightened my day and made me feel less lonely in a period that can be beautiful. Making a baby is beautiful, but it can be quite isolating as well. So thank you for being there for me. So as I record this, I've just started my maternity leave. Eventually the baby will arrive and I will have to take a break from making videos. But this time I'm not walking away from YouTube. I've built something sustainable. I've created products I believe in. I've found my message. And most importantly, we've built a community. I've come back to creating content on YouTube over and over again. I've realized I like it. I really do. I just needed to find my message. Now that I have, I will come back with the same message and continue developing. So if you followed this journey till now, thank you so much. If you've used any of the tools I created or simply watched silently, I appreciate you. While I'm away, explore the tools I've created. Try the Transition Fund Calculator or the Wealth Suite that has a dashboard that shows you your net worth. Start building your own wealth without hustle, burnout, or waiting for someday. And if you want me to turn your budget or bank statements or any other financial figures that you have into a custom dashboard, you can submit it and I'll review it when I turn. The thing is, none of this would have happened if I didn't start again. If I didn't dare to believe that creating could look different this time. If you want to see the video where I discovered my purpose, which helped me find my message, watch this video next. That one changed everything, and it just might do the same for you. I'll see you on that video.